Hey friends, I'm Rhiannon from Drawn by Rhiannon, and today I'm going to show you how to print onto paper bags. So if you are in the small business world and you like to do markets or events, then you'll know how important it is to get your packaging right for when you're out and about. So what I did is that I chose some paper bags because obviously I'm very against plastic, so of course they're going to be paper. But then I wanted to make them look a little bit more special than just a plain paper bag. And I did look into getting them custom printed, but it was so expensive and you had to order a minimum of 10,000. Now I do a lot of markets and make quite a few sales at Christmas, but 10,000 bags would literally last me years. So that just seemed like a huge upfront cost. So what I used to do was print out stickers and then peel off the back and stick those onto the paper bags, which kind of worked, and that's sort of like a good way to do it if you're just starting out. You can either print the stickers yourself or get a company to print them for you. But the issue I had with that, it's quite time consuming. Obviously you've got all the waste from the peel off from the back of the sticker, and it just doesn't look as professional as having them printed directly onto the bag. So earlier this year, after a lot of wrestling with my printer, I managed to work out how to print my logo directly onto the paper bags. And I'm really pleased with it. I think it looks just so much smarter than a sticker, and yeah, I'm just really pleased with these. And I had a lot of people asking how I did it when I posted about it on stories, because every time I do it I get excited and I post about it on stories. So I thought I'd do this quick video today to show you how you can print your logo onto paper bags. So first of all, just a quick disclaimer, please don't do this if you have a super fancy printer, if you're worried that it might break it or if it's going to jam it up. I will not be held responsible for any broken printers because of this. So the printer that I have is an HP Officejet 7110. It's an A3 plus wide format printer. It's absolutely fantastic. It was just over £100 when I bought it, probably 18 months ago or something. I don't know what kind of price it's at now, but I would highly recommend this printer. It is a pretty good price for an A3 printer, and it's just so easy to use, it's so reliable, and the ink isn't that expensive. You know, it's expensive, but it's not hideously expensive in the world of ink. But if you've got one of these printers, basically you put the paper in the bottom, it goes over and then out over the top. So you put your paper in upside down. So if that's the kind of format printer that you have, then hopefully this will be useful for you. Or if you're having a little look around for a printer and you're looking for a recommendation, then I would highly recommend this if you're on a little bit of a budget. So the first thing that I would like to say about this is that it took me quite a lot of trial and error. So I'm going to sort of teach you the basics of how I got to print on paper bags, but depending on your logo, what size you want it and all this kind of thing, it might be slightly different. So it is just going to be a bit of a case of trial and error for you as well to kind of see the placement, but I will show you how I got mine to print and what sort of size logo that I've got on the back. So if you want something kind of similar, then you can kind of put a template in for yourself to see how it goes. Basically, the most important thing with the placement of where you put your logo on your file is that you need to have it so that it doesn't hit this line here. So just to show you on the back, this is where the bag, the bottom of the bag kind of folds over. It might be different for you with your printer, but I found that if the print was going over this, then it would just create a massive big black line just right across here. So you want to just make sure that you're printing in this top section here between the sort of end of the straps and the top of the bottom of the bag, if that makes sense. So this is the size that I've got for the smaller bags, and then I also do a bigger bag for larger items like the beeswax wraps and the wash bags and everything. And again, just want to make sure that the logo is between the end of the straps and the little edge of the bottom of the bag there. So that's sort of the area that you're working with, and I'll show you now on the computer sort of how I worked that out for my logo. So this is the file that I use for printing my smaller bags, so that is these ones here. So these measure 22 centimeters tall by 18 centimeters wide, so that is literally what the file size is that I've got here. And then just with my rulers here that I've got, the line going horizontally is basically this line here, so I just measured it like for like on the file and put this line in here, and then just a line down the middle so we know that the logo is nice and in the middle. So basically, in theory, this should print so that the puffin is here, it's not getting in the way of this crease like I said before. And like I said, it was a lot of trial and error to get this just right. It was basically, this is where I think it should be, print it, no, shuffle it up a bit, shuffle it down a bit, whatever. And as you can see, the logo is upside down because it sort of comes in backwards, so it needs to be upside down. But again, it might be different for your printer. This is just the experience that I've had with my printer, so it's just having a go, seeing what happens. So when I'm printing this one, I put it in portrait and I put it as an A5 piece of paper because that's basically like the closest standard size piece of paper. And then on the fit option, I found that I needed to go on shrink to page. But again, give it a try. You've just got to test it out and see what happens. But these are the settings that I found work best for me. So now we just need to put the bag in and then print onto it. So when you put the bag in, remember that it's going to sort of print upside down. So you want to have the side that you want printed facing downwards. So we're going to put the big blank side facing downwards, and then we're going to have this bit facing up. And you want to feed it in so that the paper handles are sticking outwards so that they don't get caught up in the printer. So I've just adjusted these bits here so that it's holding the bags nice and tight. Then we're just going to press print, and hopefully we should have a perfectly printed paper bag at the end. And there you go, that is the finished bag. It's all nicely printed on, as you can see, and we've got that just in the right space that we want. So it's very similar with the large bags as well, but I'll just give you a quick rundown on those as well. So the larger paper bags are just a little bit bigger than A4. Just draw up the file size you need. I just use Photoshop, I find that the easiest one to do. And then when you're printing it, just select that you're printing on A4 paper and then select shrink to fit again. And hopefully that should print nicely on your bag. I'd say the only difference with printing the large paper bags that I've seen is that you kind of need to push the large paper bags through a little bit, and the handles can sometimes get a little bit stuck in the printer. So it is a case of, as soon as it comes out, just gently guiding it out so that the handles don't get all caught up. I don't know if that's just me, but that's what I've found, so I thought I would just pass that little tip on to you. So there we go, that is the large paper bag all printed up. Like I say, you just got to be a little bit quick just to help guide it out when it comes out. It can just jam up on the handles, so again, just a disclaimer, I will not be held responsible for ruining anyone's printer. Obviously, paper bags are a lot thicker than just printing on paper, so just sort of know what the limits of your printer are before you potentially ruin it, I would say. I would say my printer is not super happy with me for printing on paper bags, so I try not to do a load at a time. But yeah, we haven't had any accidents yet, fingers crossed it stays that way. But yeah, I'm really pleased with how they turn out when print directly onto the paper bags. So I hope you have found this video useful. If you did, please give it a like, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. If you try printing your logo onto a paper bag, haven't seen this video, I would love to see the final results. So send me a photo on social media or via email, I would love to see what you come up with. Click here to subscribe and click here for another video. I hope you're all having a lovely day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!